This is the TSLA 1-year overview reading for the year of 2023. It's currently January 24th, 2023, 7:46 p.m. Eastern Time. And Tesla, at the time of this reading in the extended hours, is at $141.05 USD. For those of you that are interested, the Tesla 1-year reading for 2023 was created on January 22nd, 2023 at 4:06 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this file right here. So the overall theme and behavior for the year is there's a notable reversal that'll stand out on a multi-year chart. This is an important reversal. There's also, as we look into this further, I'll be able to determine, but there may be a notable, like a new high here. There's unexpected gains or unexpected moves to the upside. I see 4 of them in total. That's what we're crossed with here, the star card. So some really unexpected moves to the upside that'll stand out on a 1-year chart, and they usually comes out of like a moment of fear. Like there's a lot of fear in the market, and we have this move to the upside people just weren't expecting. Behavior around the highest high. We reach a so that kind of answers my question about a new high. Probably less likely, because for the highest high we have the peace card. We likely see the highest high twice, and it's probably an already established resistance level, at which point like volume will flatten out. Behavior around the lowest low. It looks like we have what was an important resistance level, which we utilize like right at the beginning of the year. Probably we turn it into support. But it was a resistance level, and now it's a support level throughout the year. In January, we have a notable move to the upside, reaching for a distant resistance level. There's a big move, probably the first week, especially to the upside. And then off of like the high, there's the halting of a bullish trend, marked by a sharp decline through a key support level on the scale of a 1 year. The decline, there's a decline that takes that we decline through a support level that we'd recently declined through once before. So maybe within like the last 3 months, or like the last major decline on like a multi-year chart. We declined through that support level again here to reach the January month's low. And it looks like out of the January month's low, there's a notable move to the upside. January month's low is at a prominent trough or low for the year here, toward like on the cusp of January, February, and then there's a rally out of that in early February, offering a trade opportunity to open up some protection, which I'll get into in the paid version. Guys, you can get the paid version on our website, Tarot for Traders. There's a couple different ways you can get it, but in any case, that's the best way to go about getting it. And I'll talk more about the trades in detail at the end of the paid version. But there's a rally here, and it offers opportunity to open up a protection. We break through resistance in February, resistance on the scale of a 1 year. And we stay above it briefly, and then we break back down through that same price level with a full retracement back to where the move higher started. Makes like a capital A in the English language. The low of January looks like there's a low in late February. The month's low in late February, and out of the decline that starts in like the first week, probably the end of the first week of February, out of the decline that starts in there's a fast sudden move higher in late February, marking the end of that decline. We do some sideways fluctuations with a rally into March. There's a prominent crest or peak in March. And then there's a decision of some kind between 2 leaders that's highlighted in March around the March high. it may be a merger or an acquisition of some kind, or maybe just a decision between two with a holding pattern and a pop and drop in the case. If it's just like a decision, holding pattern and a pop and drop. If it's a merger, there may just be a pop and drop, no holding pattern. But in any case, there's a prominent crest or peak for the year here in March. It's within close proximity to the March month's low. And the March month's low is also a prominent low for the year. So quite a bit of movement here, but we do like this pop and drop around the March high, somewhere in the first or second week probably of the month. And then there's a sideways fluctuating decline into a prominent low for the year. Looks like we fluctuate into that decline. And then there's around the prominent low. Around the prominent low, there's like an establishment of support and then a big move higher that'll stand out on a 1 year towards the end of the month of March. But that takes us to unicursal energy, where we have a sharp, this may be the sharpest, one of the sharpest, if not the sharpest decline of the year here in early April, taking us likely to a lowest low. Interesting. So there's a prominent low again in April, towards like the second week of April, when we establish support at least momentarily. There's a fake out in late April, intentional fake out or shakeout or some sort of misdirection through technical charts, you know, and we have more of a decline with increasing momentum. So there's probably a move to the upside to reach for like a crest or peak there towards the middle of the month of April, and from that we decline again. There's more unicursal hexagram energy taking us into a low. Yeah, okay, so there's a lowest low here in April, it looks like. Yeah, so pretty significant decline in April, taking us into a low like on the cusp, probably. It's somewhere around like middle of April into like early May. It's hard to pinpoint. There's a lot going on there. But in early May, we have a failed attempt to break through key resistance that, on a scale of a 1 year, it's key resistance that we've tested already, and like previously tested, and then we established support, and then we come back to retest it, and we're expecting to break through, but instead we decline and break through the support that we had just established. It's hard to determine if it's one or two lows. I'm sorry, guys. It's really hard to determine, but there's a lot going on there, and there's definitely a lowest low in there, April, March. Off of the March, let's say on the cusp there. Well, let's say it's on the cusp there. There's establishment of support on a year-to-date scale, and then a big move higher standing out on a year-to-date scale, followed by the establishment of support again near a high, and we'll be near oversold territory. Not oversold, but near oversold territory, like at the beginning of the fourth week of May, and then there's a decline from that level, from that near overbought peak or crest, down to a support, through the support, and then we rotate sideways along the next support level into a prominent trough again. So we go from a prominent peak or crest at like the third week of May into a prominent trough there on the cusp of May, June, and there's a rally out of that trough along a diagonal trend line in June, breaking through along diagonal trend line, and then it ends with a fast sudden move higher, followed by a breakdown through that diagonal trend line. So that rally in early June offers another trade opportunity to open up protection, which I'll get into in more detail in the paid version. The low in June, which is a prominent trough as well, towards looks like the third week of June, which looks like it'll be lower than the trough that was on the cusp of May-June. There's a significant decline into it, and that decline offers an opportunity to cash in on a short position and also to open up a long position. I'm advised to be cautious. In early July. Looks like we have quite a bit of price movement there. Price swings back and forth. A lot of like fake tops and fake bottoms. There's opportunity to position oneself in both directions in early July. And then around the... Oh, also in early June, there's going to be a reversal. That reversal where we break down from that diagonal trend line, we have a fast sudden move higher and then a breakdown. That reversal will really stand out on a 1-year chart at least. Looks like we have a similar kind of reversal going on at the month's high in July as well. And we'll be bound by the upper end of a range, so it's likely we see the same high there. When we hit that upper end of the range, there's a sharp decline. That upper end of the range is a unicursal hexagram energy. It's got correlations to the unicursal hexagram, so it'll be the revisiting of a support. Like we'll make new support near a top, and off of that new support, there will be a sharp decline that'll stand out on the year's chart. And so we see that there when we're bound at the upper end of a range. We decline through multiple support levels into a trough towards the end of the month of July, prominent trough. That's followed by a rally along a diagonal trend line, increasing with bullish momentum until we meet a key resistance level, a key technical resistance level, again, probably around the same high. Okay, and there's also, here's one of the places where there's one of those unexpected moves to the upside, starting in the trough of at the end of July and moving into the high, the high in August. Yeah, it's really strong resistance. Usually the cruelty card I'm finding is resistance that we met several times already on the scale of the reading. So likely we're going to see that same resistance level there that we saw like at the upper end of the range in July. Probably we saw it at the upper end of the range like around May and June as well. But off of that, there's a notable decline increasing with momentum as we move forward into the year's low, which takes place in early September, probably like the end of the first week or the beginning of the second week. Excuse me, guys, I'm so sorry. And the month's low in August also forms after we meet that resistance, and there's a sharp decline. Like an easily missed opportunity at a peak or crest, followed by this decline into the low. It looks like through multiple support levels on a 1-year scale, taking us into a low in the first week, probably of the end of the first week of September. And then there's an unexpected move out of that sharp decline, out of that lowest low. There's an unexpected move higher, reaching for highest high and a key price level, like a highest high there, probably the third week of September. the key technical price level, and it comes from another one of those unexpected moves higher. This and the bottom here in early September is like a multi-year kind of opportunity, which I'll get into again in more detail in the paid version. And we can take a look at the 10-year and how it relates to this in just a minute too. But around that resistance level, we have this unexpected move out of the lowest low into a resistance level towards the end of the month of September. And then on the cusp of September, there's a big decline, a lot of ground covered, which turns into erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level in early October. In the midst of that erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level, we revisit a crest that was recently a past opportunity. It looks like we reached that highest high again after an unexpected move higher. So there's a big decline into a month's low there in September. In October, and then there's erratic behavior back and forth. We see a month's high probably twice there. Maybe not, but there's a highest high towards the end of the month of October, an unexpected move higher into it, and a lucky opportunity there. We poke up against resistance 3 times around the high on the cusp of October, November, and then there's a sharp decline that'll stand out in a period of volatility there from that prominent high or that highest high there in early November. Sharp decline into the low from a crest or peak that'll stand out on the year's chart, and then late November we're doing 3 crisscrosses back and forth through the same price level, confirming a bullish trend, which doesn't always hold, but it's in technical analysis books the pattern would be like a confirmation of a bullish trend. Volatility, that 3 crisscrosses back and forth through the same price level, confirming a bullish trend towards the end of November, turns into a period of volatility in early December, with a fast sudden move higher marking the end of that period of volatility. I think probably it starts on the cusp of November, December, and then there's a rally along a diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance, meeting second resistance, and then pulling back to somewhere between those 2 price levels. There's also another prominent low towards the end of December. It'll stand out on a 1 year. There's a cash out opportunity there as well. Again, I'll get into the trades in just a minute in the next section. And the sneak preview for 2024, it's looking really bullish, guys. Really, really bullish. Like a fast sudden move higher. So positioning oneself there could be good. Especially when we take a look at the 10-year, which was just recently marked up. Right, we have a prominent bottom in 2023, like on the cusp here of 2023, somewhere around there. Prominent bottom, and then like it in 2024 it turns into like there may be like a new local high there, but the real high looks like in the 10-year period is going to be here in 2025, and then we get really bullish in the following year after we meet this significant low in 2026. So as far as I'm concerned, that bottom, provided it's timed right, could be a really good opportunity to get in on Tesla. And that's Tesla for the 10-year, or excuse me, for the 1 year period of 2023. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Most importantly, my friends, make sure you follow that rule of karma. It's so important to keep the flow of abundance going through your reality, right? Make sure you pay a little bit of it forward. We suggest 5% of profits paid forward. Somebody who doesn't expect it, doesn't see it coming, make their day, be an angel. 5% of the profits back to the channel for all the free work we do, saying thank you. Here, share some of the profits for being right. I don't trade, guys. It's frustrating at times to watch yourself be right and not trade, you know. And then also you're saying to the universe, hey, we're gonna get more of this. I don't need to hold on to this little bit. I'm going to get a ton more. And that's the type of mentality that perpetuates more abundance. It's abundance mind, my friends. So follow that and make sure whatever you spend that money on, you spend it out of love. As long as you spend that out of love, the universe is going to send it back to you tenfold in all directions. And you can send that 5% here to our website, Tarot for Traders, or the PayPal or the Cash App. Much appreciated. I'm seeing that happen more and more. It's really a beautiful thing to see so many beautiful people in the world giving back and forward. I'm going to start calling you guys my angel investors, because that's what you are. You're angels. I'll see you guys on the next one.